Our story focuses on Millie Bobby Brown's Enola Holmes, the 16-year-old younger sister of Sherlock and Mycroft Holmes, played by Superman himself Henry Cavill and Hunger Games star Sam Claflin, respectively. Enola's life is pretty awesome as far as the lives of teenage girls in the 19th century in England go. She lives in the country with her mother, Eudora, played by Helena Bonham Carter. As such, her mother is the most awesome, crazy woman you've ever heard of. But then one morning, Enola wakes up to find her mother missing without a word. Enola then summons her older brothers to help her investigate, but instead, Mycroft takes her in as his ward and forces her to attend an oppressive boarding school for girls. Naturally, Enola, being a take-no-shit kind of girl, opts to make an escape and ends up bumping into a young lord also on the run. Enola wants more than anything to just leave this kid to his own devices, but her conscience won't allow it, so she ends up helping him find out who wants him dead. That's all for now, and mild spoilers ahead. Pros. I've only seen Millie Bobby Brown in Godzilla King of Monsters, which I thought she was pretty good in, but she obviously wasn't the human character with the most focus, and I've never seen Stranger Things at all. That all said, though, Miss Brown is an absolute delight as Enola Holmes. She's charismatic, she's charming, and she's able to carry this movie in such a wonderful way. Her asides to the audience are fantastically humorous in a very deadpan way. It's absolutely wonderful. And when she needs to bring the tears, she manages to do it in a way where you feel Enola's strength, even in a position where she's made to feel weak. It's an absolutely brilliant performance. I really look forward to seeing more from Millie as she gets older. Henry Cavill gives a fun performance as Sherlock Holmes here. He's definitely the most put-together Sherlock in recent memory, though I've never seen Ian McKellen as Mr. Holmes. He's suave and sophisticated, but still has just a little bit of that classic Holmes lust for mysteries and adventure. Cavill's version of Sherlock seems to highlight their usual detachment from people. When Mycroft first takes Enola as his ward, she begs Sherlock to be her guardian instead, but Sherlock just kinda shrugs her off. There's also a minor scene later in the film that you might have already seen either as a GIF set on Tumblr or as a screen cap on Twitter or Facebook, where a minor character, an older black woman who's seen Enola while she's on the run, asks Holmes why he doesn't care about politics, and Holmes just says he finds it boring. But the woman argues he only finds it boring because it has zero effect on him personally, and therefore he has no reason to be invested in it. But also, in typical Sherlock Holmes fashion, at the end of the film, we see there is a heart buried in there under that man's steely exterior. See what I did there? By contrast, Sam Claflin's Mycroft is probably the least fun version of this character in recent memory. He's openly misogynistic and even shouts at Enola when she goes on and on about how she does not want to go to this boarding school. And even in his first scene, when neither Sherlock nor Mycroft recognize Enola, when she greets them at the train station, Mycroft goes out of his way to be highly chauvinistic and just harshly chastise this presumable stranger about the state of her clothes. It's an enormous contrast to the charming, sexy, and genuinely heroic Benico Dare who Claflin portrayed in the Hunger Games films, which really just shows what a fantastic actor Sam is. Mycroft makes for a really good secondary antagonist to Enola. I mean, what better opponent for a teenage feminist than her older brother, a condescending conservative government employee? It's like if Mike Pence was Claudia Conway's older brother. Helena Bonham Carter's role in this film is limited but all too welcome. Eudora Holmes seems like an extremely interesting woman, and I like how her bizarre quirks inform Enola and to a lesser extent her brothers. Daniel Pemberton's score doesn't play an enormous role in the film, but it makes for a very nice presence that just adds a nice whimsical feel to the proceedings. Consolata Boyle does one hell of a job with these costumes. All of these outfits are absolutely gorgeous and everything fits with the characters. Well done, ma'am. Well done. Cons. There's a surprising lack of one Dr. John Watson. Henry Cavill's Sherlock repeatedly mentions throughout the film that he works alone and has no use for companionship, which is typically Sherlock, but it's odd considering Sherlock Holmes is famous for having his companion. I really do hope that a sequel does feature Watson as a character. There's a lot of threads left dangling at the end of this film. In the search for her mother, Enola finds a lot of strange things, and these subjects are never really expanded on or solved. I realize this is likely set up for a sequel, but it seems less like a mystery yet to be solved and more like a mystery yet to be remembered. The actual plot of Enola helping the young lord feels a bit extraneous, honestly. It doesn't not work, but I think the plot should have kept the focus on Enola looking for her mother. Maybe have her investigate while stuck at the boarding school and give her a more preppy roommate who she convinces to lie for her or outright blackmails her into lying for her. I just think that could have been pretty interesting. Overall, despite any quibbles of mine, this movie is a genuinely delightful piece of entertainment for teenage girls. If Enola Holmes came out 20 years ago, it would 100% be a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie, and I have zero issues with that. We could use more movies made for teenage girls that aren't about the horrific pain of being a teenage girl, but just a movie about being a cool person, doing cool things, and going on a kick-ass adventure. It's fun times all around. I'm going to give Enola Holmes a 3.5 out of 5. Thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this review. And if you did, like this video, share it with your friends, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. Also, a few years back, I did a video talking about a Japanese series called Miss Sherlock. And unfortunately, now I'm about to issue a trigger warning because I'd like to bring attention to the fact that Miss Sherlock's lead actress, Yuko Takeuchi, made the unfortunate decision to take her own life on September 27th of 2020 at the all too young age of 40 years old. As I've said before, the world is always a poorer place when talented people leave it. And Miss Takeuchi is no exception. My heart goes out to her husband, my heart goes out to her 2 children. And while I normally would promote my other videos and end with me declaring Woodstock out over a picture of Snoopy and his little bird friend from the Peanuts, today I'd rather just end with a moment of silence for a woman who was once called Japan's answer to Audrey Hepburn. Yasoraku ni Namoru Takeuchi Yuko. Have a great day, everyone. Talk to the people you love. There's no one in the world that would be better off for you leaving this life. Take care, everyone.